Welcome to Timesink, the weekly podcast to let you know what's worth sinking your time into. I'm your host, Sauce, and I'm joined today by your other host, Mr. Hummer.
I'm the pretty one.
That was my intro for your other host.
Hey, it's your boy Tito coming in with definitely the first take here. Nailed it. Yeah, what's up, guys?
All right, today we are going to talk about Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. Which one do you want to own during this quarantine? And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff, so stay tuned. But right now, we're going to get right into what is going on with Mr. Hummer.
What is going on? Man, that's a tough one. I've been grinding away at Apex Legends, trying to get into the Platinum ranks, but it's proving a difficult task.
You can do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty challenging. But also, I've been perusing Netflix a lot and noticed, and I think this has been a couple weeks old, but they recently came out with like the top 10 in the U.S. And like, do you guys ever look at the top 10 in the USA today?
Yes, it's a nice I like that they do that.
It's a
It helps
cool
me know what to
feature.
not watch.
I'm always somehow watching number 2. That's it. I only get 2.
Well, Tiger King's been number 1 for forever. I
Let's
think
talk
the
about
one
that.
I'm most interested in is the main event. Have any of you guys watched the main event?
No, I literally don't know what it is.
I don't know. It's
What
on
is it?
today's, but it's a guy wearing this like wrestling mask that's trying to rip his shirt off.
Huh.
Wait, is
I'm
that
interested.
the show's like the Big Show, his like family sitcom?
It says using special powers from a magical mask, a young WWE fan causes chaos when he enters the wrestling competition and fights an intimidating rival.
So
Sounds
no.
like something I might be into. That's number 2.
That was number 8. So
Okay.
we're going deep into the list today, but I think that's one I'm going to give a shot to. Maybe that's one for next week we can put on the, give it a good time sync rating.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
are you trying to buy us off or something?
we are willing to sell if anyone's listening.
But yeah,
So
other than that, I also watched a couple good movies on Netflix this week and continue finishing out the series of, the show Mad Men.
Oh, nice.
What about you guys?
What'd you think?
Oh, Mad Men? It's a great series. It gets a little dark towards the last 2 seasons, but it's probably one of the best shows I've ever watched in terms of dialogue. I would say it gives a good rival for a dialogue perspective to Game of Thrones.
Which season are we talking about?
Anything
Of
other
Game
than
of-
the last one.
I tried to watch Mad Men and I couldn't. It's something about watching. I don't know.
Say it.
Just say it.
as a Mexican American, something watching a bunch of rich old white men in the 1950s just didn't click with me.
As a wealthy Caucasian-looking person, man, I feel like we're spinning out here. No, Mad Men is good. I actually didn't get through all of the seasons of Mad Men back when it was first airing. The first 4, or how many seasons are there? 6?
I believe so. I think it ended on
Yeah.
season 6.
I think I got through the first 4, and then it kind of trailed off. But yeah, the first few seasons are really good, and I hear it finishes strong too. So you'll have to give us an update on that.
Yep, I'll probably be finished with it the way I've been powering through this next week. So that one's a fun one. But yeah, what about you guys? What have you been up to?
So I got the big okay this week to kind of half work from home. So hopefully I'll have even more time to sink my time into sink into stuff. We took our dog to the vet. It was very heavily socially distanced. Everyone was wearing like masks, gowns. I wasn't actually allowed to go in. We found out that she gained 25 pounds in the last 6 months, and she
Wait, did you say vet or doctor?
we took our dog to the vet, and um, and she's like 10 years old. She's had 2 knee replacements. She's very high maintenance. She has hypothyroidism. We changed her med 6 months ago. We thought it was the hypothyroidism coming back, but it turns out her thyroid is good. And just like I've been the one taking care of the dog for the last 6 months, while my wife has been focused on kids. And it turns out that I just gave her like an extra scoop every day. I gave her some of my food every time I ate a meal. I gave her extra treats. And the vet, I was just very judgmental. Talk with a veterinarian. So now I'm not allowed to feed our dog anymore. I just love her so much. Also, I've been playing Doom and Overwatch.
How have
It's
you been
good
playing?
to
How
deal
have
with
you
the
how have you been
emotional
getting away
trauma.
with playing Doom or Overwatch? How have you been getting away with that?
So Doom, I'll play for like 15 or 20 minutes when the kids go to sleep. Like I said last week, it's a great game. You can knock out, like it just takes 1 or 2 minutes. You can knock it out. But Overwatch, I've been playing it on the Switch, which is great. And so today, a new hero came out, which I think we're going to talk about a little later. But a new hero came out. I really wanted to play it. Told my wife I had to go to the bathroom, and I pretended to poop for about half an hour while I played several games of Overwatch on the old toilet there. You
That's
gotta
real
you gotta
bad,
find
though.
time. You gotta find time.
Better hope she's not listening.
She's very supportive, but hopefully she's not listening.
We'll get it in post. Don't worry. So for myself this week, I've been playing more Animal Crossing. I discovered a new game that is so fun to play that I can't stop playing it. But I'll talk about that more later. And I was looking for a movie to just put on the other night when I was trying to fall asleep. And it was so good that, okay, it was good to me. Like critically, it's not a great movie, but entertaining. I enjoyed it a lot. It's called Code 8. It's
Oh.
got. Have you guys heard of this?
Is it no, I have not. I haven't heard of it.
So it came out a while ago, end of last year. I guess that's a while ago. It's on Netflix, and it's about a superpowered people. So obviously, I'm instantly, drawn by that.
You're hitting my buttons.
Exactly. And basically, like how they were just ripping off X-Men, how nobody likes them and they don't want them around, and how they were really useful in society, and now they've had to turn to a life of crime.
Are some of them really hot, like in X-Men?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
Nice.
temperature-wise?
Are any of them women?
Like a molten power? No.
Lava powers, man. You know what I'm talking about.
It's cool though because it has the Amell brothers. So like Stephen Amell was the Green Arrow in the TV show, and his brothers in the TV show. And now they're both in the movie, so that was cool.
Oh.
But yeah, it was entertaining. I would give it a solid 3 out of 5.
Funny
Okay.
for being a 3, it is currently the number 3 movie in the USA today on Netflix.
What's it?
I told you, I can't get over 2.
Code 8? What was it?
Yeah, Code 8.
Code 8. Just immediately gonna go watch that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what other things come up here in the podcast.
In a city
All
where
right,
superpowered people are ostracized, an earnest day laborer considers using his outlawed abilities for money to save his sick mother.
A day laborer.
Yeah, they're literally there's big like racist like or stereotypical like allegories to like Mexican day laborers, big time. But you just blow past it because they start blowing shit up, so it's cool. Okay, so that's what's going on with us this week. But now we want to get into the real meat of this week's episode. A lot of people are quarantined. Not everybody, but even the people that aren't are either working from home or they got their hours cut or whatever. And, we feel for everybody that is in a tough situation. But to lighten the mood a little bit, what are you gonna do? What do you want to play? What do you want to watch? Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. A lot of people are coming out to me and asking me, what should I get? What should I play? So that's what this episode is going to be all about. Now, I know Hummer is all about the Virtual Boy, but we had to not talk about that this episode.
He's a virtual boy himself.
That's his actually nickname.
I'm a virtual boy living in a real world. I am just a virtual boy.
I felt that.
Hey, before we, I got a question for you guys. Which systems do you guys own?
So I am fortunate enough. I have a. So like when you're a kid and you're like, man, I wish I owned every video game system. I kind of fell into that over the last couple of years. So I have a PS4, I have an Xbox, I have a Switch, and this in the house I've got the N64. We've got an emulator of a SNES, like the little tiny SNES. We've got. Yeah, no, I mean no, it's one it's like the Nintendo sanctioned. You know how they sold them little mini.
Sure.
Uh-oh. We have a lot of stuff basically, and but we do have every next gen console. So I have Xbox, I have PS4, I have Switch. How about you, Sauce?
I've got everything. You don't have everything because you don't have a gaming PC.
What the?
So you're a huge nerd now.
Wow.
Or you're not. I don't know how that goes. But yeah, I've got. I look at it like this: if there's a good story, I want to know it. So if it's on PlayStation, if it's only on Switch, it's only on Xbox, I gotta experience it. So I have all the big three plus the gaming PC, which I don't use that much, plus the Nintendo Mini and the Sega Mini. Yeah, so I got them all.
Yeah.
How about Hummer?
Well, my list is going to be way shorter. So my primary console is a Nintendo 64. That's what I'm. That's my primary play. Well, I mean, I still do have the Xbox 360, but it's never fired up, especially since backwards compatibility became a thing. I actually have two Xbox Ones, one in the living room, one in my office. I am actually in the market for a gaming PC, but my primary thing is Xbox. But I'm not really, I think when this conversation came up, and Sauce has a good story about this too. I basically just had a friend. They were all arguing kind of about what system to get because they're sitting around, they're doing nothing, and it brought up a really good argument about. And the primary one, I think, for casual gamers is really coming, or at least from my perspective, comes down to Xbox and PS4, at least right now, because people are sitting on their couches and portability isn't necessarily a driving factor. But with you two having both of them, one of the things I've always wanted to know, too, from an online perspective, have you found one platform better than the other?
So, from an online perspective, so I think just taking one step backwards, someone told me, and I totally agree with this a few years ago, that you go where your friends are. So I play a lot with you guys on Xbox.
Oh
I play, and I even play with Sauce a little bit on Switch. Not as much as on Xbox, but yeah, I think Xbox does a really good job of making it easily accessible to meet up with your friends, talk with your friends, recruit them into games that you're playing. So in addition to playing with you guys, Sauce knows my buddy from school. I don't know if I should name drop him. His first name is Javed. Just got an Xbox, started playing Halo. I've been playing with him and his brother, and then invited Sauce a couple times. I think you might have even jumped in once or twice, Summer. Yeah, that was like a month or two ago.
I was very easy about that.
Yeah,
it's
great.
Him first, Javed.
It was it's just really easy. They really do a good job facilitating it, and I think maybe that's because most of my friends play Xbox. I haven't tried to play too much with other people via PS4. I think it's definitely a little clunkier to communicate with people through the Switch versus through the Xbox. So Xbox is probably the easiest, at least from my perspective, to communicate with your buddies online, to get a good online experience. I don't know. What do you think?
If you're looking for just to play online with your friends, if you've got a limited amount of free time and you just want to play some of the free games like Call of Duty Warzone or Fortnite or Apex, Xbox is going to be the way to go. You could do PlayStation, but PlayStation's interface isn't as intuitive, I think, as Xbox. Xbox kind of pioneered it because they were the first with Xbox Live back in the day on the giant brick that we used to play on, and they only perfected it with Xbox, or made it better with Xbox 360, and then perfected it with Xbox One. PlayStation, it's just not as good. It's Japanese made. Xbox is American made. So
that's what I'm talking about.
culturally, it's geared more towards Americans. But I know a lot of people love their PlayStation and play it online with their friends. But I think Xbox just has so much more to offer. Like Game Pass.
PlayStation had some great. So like if you're talking about different game experiences, Xbox great for online. PlayStation has amazing exclusives. So not last year, but 2 years ago, they had Spider-Man, they had God of War, the Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, was exclusive for PlayStation, and those are all like amazing single player games. And like I played through them. If you like video games, if you like single player experiences, if you're like a Zelda guy, if you're a Halo like campaign person, like all of those games are just amazing single player experiences, and you really can't get at least Spider-Man and God of War on Xbox. So PS4 definitely has some great exclusives, and I think coming up this year they have some great exclusives coming out. Final Fantasy is PS4 exclusive. Is Cyberpunk, is that PS4 only, or is that wide release?
I think that's no, that's everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Stadia.
Switch is just Stadia. Let's come back to that. Switch is just good because it's just convenient. You can carry it with you. You can turn it on. You can play it. If your kids fall asleep in the nursery, if you have a nursery, if you're taking a particularly lengthy poo, you can bring it with you. So those are all the positives of the different ones. But Xbox, at least as far as the online experience goes. Hummer, what are you mostly playing?
Well, before I get to that, PS4, I almost did pull the trigger on getting one simply because of Spider-Man. I really wanted to play that game. One of the main reasons I'm actually wanting to get a PC is because I really want to play Half-Life 2. Or not Half-Life 2, it's Half-Life 3, I guess, at this point. Or whatever we're actually
Alex?
officially... Yeah.
That's only for VR.
Yeah, so I know we're going back, and it's my internal conflict of how I really want to go about this, because I know I can also get the laptop, which is going to make it hard with the VR, but I can also get an external GPU, which will take care of the graphical needs of setting up the VR with it. But with Xbox, and the Game Pass, I mean, the Game Pass is just incredible. If you're looking at some of the best games on there right now, I mean, you have Grand Theft Auto 5 you get access to, Minecraft. If you're a sports fan, you get NBA 2K20. You get all the Halos. You get all the Gears of War. Currently, Doom 2016. And I find it funny that they put Player Battlegrounds on there when that's a free game too. But I don't know if you guys, I really enjoyed the Batman series too.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum. I really love those games. So I think just from a perspective that with Xbox you can get for whatever that monthly price is. We're not being sponsored by them, so I'm not really trying to give them too much credit, but you get a lot of games just included in your monthly access fee that you don't have a barrier to play. Like for me to go back, like I paid for Doom Eternal and I still haven't turned it on because I wanted to go back and play Doom 2016. I was able to do that without having to drop, $50 on it, $60 on a new game. I simply just downloaded it on Game Pass. I thought that was awesome. But ultimately, I think my particular friend decided to go PS4. He must not like me very much.
Whoa.
Yeah, you should end your relationship with him.
He doesn't sound like a good friend.
I threatened to, and he did it all because he was playing just FIFA. I'm like, FIFA? That's not even a good exclusive. That's not even a good reason.
It's not exclusive. It's on Xbox.
Yeah. But Whatever.
Terrible human being.
Friendships don't, they're not all forever,
They're not. It's a
Sometimes
shame.
you got to cut your losses.
Sorry, guy.
So do you guys think that people should factor in how much money they're spending when they're choosing between the three?
I think they should. I'm cheap. You knew that from when you first started playing with me in Fortnite. I was I forget what they called me, but I refused to buy skins. I refused to buy anything for like the first 6 months. And then when I finally did, it's
now.
yeah. Now I'm buying every game under the sun, and I'm like, yeah, get that one. Like I'm surprised I haven't gotten the Division 2, the New York expansion pack. I've been looking at that because that looked pretty cool. But yeah, and I definitely think you should take money into account. Does PS4, do they charge you for their online service?
Yeah. So you're going to be paying a yearly subscription fee. Plus, you got to buy the darn thing. And let's see what PS4 right now is going for. If you want just a base model, because you got the PS4 and you got the PS4 Pro, which the Pro is only worth it if you want to play in 4K. PS4, I mean, you can get like a bundle right now for like $300. But Xbox, you can get like the all digital edition for like $200, brand new. You just can't put discs in it, but you don't need discs if you can have Game Pass.
And an external hard drive is like, I think I got my 2 terabytes for like $40. It's nothing.
Yeah.
I was
But
thinking
a Switch is only $200 for a light and $300 for a full size.
the Switch racks. I was thinking, so if you had to pick one, like if you had $500, but you could only buy one system and you didn't have any, so like you had to go and pick one tomorrow, like which one would you pick? That's not a bad idea. How about Hummer? What would you go with?
I like how you added the tomorrow, because if you wouldn't have given me the tomorrow, I was gonna be like, well, I would definitely wait till Series X comes out, because I'm spending all my money when that comes out. But just because of my particular lifestyle, aka I don't have kids, I'm going with the Xbox. One, it's where all you guys are, so it's where my heart is. And two,
I'm leaving.
yeah, he's leaving. He's gone. I mean, every game that I like to play is on Xbox. The only one that I'm really dying to get my hands on is Spider-Man, and so I'm not gonna just go to the PS4 for one game. I think Xbox probably is more costly in the long run, because Game Pass, it's like $15-$16 a month, so it could be more expensive for someone who's just looking for some quarantine fun. But with that, I would keep in mind, if you're looking to buy a system, maybe look at buying used off eBay right now or something, because Series X is coming out the end of this year, and it's from everything I'm reading about, it's going to be 1,000 times. It's going to be worth every penny that they're going to charge for it.
What do you think, Sauce? If you had to pick one,
That's really tough. For like you said, PlayStation's got the best exclusives. I bought it because I just couldn't get out of my head that I need to play The Last of Us, and I'm so glad I did, because it's one of the best games I've ever played. If you've never played The Last of Us, that's an absolute, add it to your list right now.
Last of Us is wild.
Last of Us is fantastic, and I'm very excited for the second one. Plus Horizon Zero Dawn, one of the best stories I've played. I love that. Spider-Man's great. God of War is great. Uncharted's
2 out of
great.
3 of the people on here teared up at the end of Spider-Man the video game. It's very emotional.
It is devastating. No, that wasn't a spoiler. I guess it was.
That was a humble brag.
But yeah,
I can feel sadness.
So the Xbox, that's probably where I spend most of my time, because I can play with my friends. One thing I like to do is, if it's a single player game, I'm probably not going to buy it. I'm really lucky. I have a Family Video, which is a game rental store like 3 blocks away. So I can go rent a single player game, beat it in the week, and then take it back, instead of spending $60 on it. If I'm going to buy something, I'm going to buy a multiplayer game. So like, Overwatch, Halo, Master Chief Collection, Gears of War. So I'm going to be playing those on my Xbox with my friends, plus 4K on my 4K TV. It's going to look amazing and feel great. But the Switch, just is so it's got all those nostalgic games, all your Marios, Zeldas, Kirby's. Super Smash Brothers is one of the best games of all time.
Frank
Plus,
would say
one
that
thing
if he's
those,
the number 2 ranked Super Smash Brothers player on this podcast, so he knows what he's talking about.
you just made me knock my mic over.
You look distraught.
So, by process of elimination, that makes Tito number 3 on this podcast.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah. I don't. I'm shook.
We got him. He's shook. I don't think you're as shook as
Got
the younger listeners sitting here thinking, "What the heck is a family video? Like, what is that?"
Back in my day, we used to order a hot and ready and walk to family video like a man.
It was pizza and a movie. That was called Pizza and Netflix.
So it's the Switch, I think. So the thing that a lot of people overlook is the indie games on the Switch, which I love. So I grew up on 16-bit and N64 and Sega Genesis, so they always have a special place for me, and they are always doing sales. So I can get keep a list of games that you can look on your Switch, and like maybe something's $5. I've gotten tons of amazing games for like $5 on Switch because they're like old, like retro game style, but they're new. So I'm having a really hard time picking between Xbox and Switch. I would say if you're gonna play games by yourself, go for the Switch. If you're gonna play with your friends, go with the Xbox.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was kind of hoping that you were gonna say Xbox, so I could be subversive and be like, Xbox is really great. I've had tons of fun and put most of my hours into it over the last couple of years because my friends were on it. But I was gonna, if you're a solo person, your friends aren't on a specific system, I was gonna say Switch. It's cheaper, it's portable. You can hook it into your TV if you want to play on the big screen. You can bring it with you somewhere, to family member's house, to your toilet room, also known as your bathroom.
That feature.
Yeah, you can. It's portable. You don't need an internet connection if you download the games onto the Switch and play it. It has a big library of games that are totally worth the $60 price. So I played Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the best games of all time. Mario Galaxy is great. I played Fire Emblem over the summer, which was awesome. There's just a ton of really good games for Switch that are a long time commitment that you really get your money's worth. The Witcher was just ported onto Switch, Switcher. Which I bought in anticipation of just having free time to play when I don't have an internet connection. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. And if you do have an internet connection, like Overwatch is on there, you can play Super Smash Brothers online against people. There's just a lot of options. So I would say if you don't have a place where your friends are congregating, especially if your friends aren't congregating on Xbox, I think the Switch is a good investment from a time standpoint, from a social standpoint. That's what I would say.
But I can just be honest with you. If your friends are playing Overwatch, chances are you're getting an Xbox.
The controls are a lot better on Xbox than on Switch, I will say.
Yeah, you can't play a first-person shooter on Switch that great, but that's why it's great for like 16-bit style retro games or like turn-based games or touchscreen stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. It does have like a huge back portfolio. So the online service is like
so does my
$2
wife
a month. The online service is like $2 a month, and it gives you access to all these retro games that you don't have to buy. It's great.
All right, so you guys I feel like we're starting to circle Overwatch here. We feel like vultures. You guys have both had an opportunity to play the new Overwatch character, Echo, correct?
Oh, I played Echo.
Oh, you played her?
I attempted to.
So hard.
It didn't go well.
All right. So since this is a low key Overwatch podcast, Echo is so OP and so amazing, and is definitely I'm a flex Overwatch player, but I like to DPS, and I think she's gonna be my new main. She is so cool. So if you haven't played Overwatch, this is going to make no sense to you, but obviously that's probably one of our top recommendations for games to play. So the new character just came out, but one of the cool things about this game is it came out in 2016, yet they add new characters 4 years later.
That's a really good
they
point.
still are updating the game to where it's still relevant. So it's 100% worth your time. And with this new character they just added, it's even crazier because of the new powers that she has.
Yeah, I realized like we talked last week about Overwatch and have multiple times referenced it this week and not really explained it. So just to give like a very brief primer on Overwatch. It's a first-person shooter. It's all multiplayer, so there's not a story mode in this version, and it's 6 versus 6. So you get randomly placed on a team with 5 other people if you're playing by yourself, or you can play with your friends and like group up, get placed with however many other people you need. There's a bunch of different game types: capture the flag, king of the hill. You're pushing a cart to try to get it from one end to the other, and you're constantly fighting with people. It's a 2-2-2 player format, so 6 players, 2-2-2. You have 2 tanks who absorb the damage, 2 damage dealers who are like kind of responsible for the kills, and then 2 supports or healers. So Frank plays Sauce, plays a lot of DPS, the damage guys, and then I kind of fill in. I do a lot of healing because I'm not very good. And Hummer, I feel like you play a lot of tank.
I've been playing a lot of healer lately. Moira's been my main lover. But once again, I'm probably out of the 3 here. Well, not once again, probably for the first time in this pod, I'm definitely the worst of the Overwatch players here. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure. Easy. But
no doubt.
But as far as Overwatch goes, exactly like Sauce was saying, it came out in 2016. It won Game of the Year back in 2016, and for I think it's only $40 to buy. It's so much content. Like every couple of months they release a new character. So every character is individual, different powers, different things that they can do. Every couple of months they release a new map, so like they'll release a whole new place that you can play. Every couple of months they release new game types. They have special events that come out every couple of months, so like new skins for the different characters. It's just a really good game that they've kept up with, has a big fan base, and is a lot of fun to play with your friends.
Well, here's something too, because I'm probably the most casual of the Overwatch players here, just one because of how bad I am. One of the cool things with the value of this game is not only do you have a good time playing, either casually or competitively, but when they do these updates, they're giving you this content. You don't have to pay extra for it. This is
Oh
not,
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, this isn't something where they're adding on and they're making you hide behind a paywall or a subscription in order to get this content. It's buy it once, have it for life, and that's been incredibly fun. Especially because this isn't a game where I want to buy the skins, because you can frankly earn them very easily, just by you get with the new not the new ranking system, new placement system. You get rewarded for playing certain types of characters. So they might have a free loot box just by being a healer, or you might get some extra coinage by playing as a tank. And I thought that was probably one of the coolest things, is that finally a game where they want to keep it good, they want to keep it relevant, but they're not just trying to wrangle your pockets of every single penny that you have in it.
Yeah. But how much money do you think you put into that game just buying skins?
I haven't bought a single skin because I always do the loot boxes. I'll play the character that gives me a free loot box, and I have fun doing it that way. Actually,
you've never bought any loot boxes?
No.
Wow, I've probably bought that game at least 5 or 6 times over.
I bought the game. I bought a physical copy for. This is going to be slightly embarrassing. I bought a physical copy for Xbox, and then it scratched and it wouldn't play. So then I bought the digital copy for Xbox. I bought a copy for Switch, and I bought a copy for my cousin so that he would play with me. He's never played with me once, so
that was a good investment.
But it felt good. It was worth the risk. It was a good roll of the dice.
Real
The
power
new character
move.
that came out is like a new. There aren't too many flying characters. This character is a damage dealer. She flies. She's a robot. She shoots lasers. Those are all my hot buttons right there. So it's
We're
a
hitting all
good
of
time
them.
to hide from your wife and your
Flying.
kids.
Just imagine if you could fly and go to the bathroom at the same time. You'd be living the dream.
So,
that's the dream.
how are you ranking this new character? Should I be playing it right now? Should I be hopping on Overwatch and playing right now?
You know, if you stopped playing Overwatch, now's the perfect time to get back into it. So I would say 4 out of 5. I wouldn't say 5 out of 5 because there's so many good things out there that, you know, maybe you want to play and experience a new story. But if you haven't played Overwatch in a while, it's the perfect time to get back into it. They've made so many improvements to the game.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's great.
So I assume we're all going to play this weekend then.
I guess so.
We
I
5
guess
stacking?
so.
We 6 stacking?
If
You
we
got to
can
get a
find-
Switch so we can all play while we poop.
I thought
You
about
have
it. Peer pressure. It's the worst. All right. We got to move on.
We're moving on. So there's a lot of TV shows on right now. Anything out there that is worth people spending their time on, Hummer?
Me? I think I mentioned it last week, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but I'm still finishing up Schitt's Creek. That is SCHITT. We're keeping this family friendly.
Fuck yeah, we are.
No, I watched Community, and I think that's a great show. And you know, you mentioned it that it's back on Netflix. And then my wife and I, we just finished season 3 of Ozarks. I don't want to talk about it until at least everybody in here who wants to see it has seen it, because I personally disagree with a lot of the major reviews out there. If you're in the watching Ozarks, you've watched seasons 1 and 2. This is one of those ones that I'm giving it at least a 4, if not a 4.5. I know we don't do halvesies here, but I can't give it a full on 5. But it is really good. It's worth your time to go in and binge that, especially if you have that extra time on your hands. It's a good one.
You've been talking about it, and the first season has some really disturbing moments in it. So like the wife and I watched it, and I think we only watched 1 or 2 episodes and we stopped. But I've heard tons of good things, definitely about the first and second season, how they finished, and then like hearing your reviews, I think we'll probably get back into it soon.
Season 1 is amazing. Season 2, not as good as season 1. I didn't like season 3 that much. I think they wasted a lot of time on certain characters, and they probably should have focused on like the main characters more. So
Boo, rubbish. Boo. You only watch movies that are. You only watch Netflix number 3 top. Number 3.
Yeah, what was it rated?
Ozarks is number 2.
I told you I can't get past number 2.
Well, Tiger King's number 1. Nothing's overtaken Tiger King until the movie comes out.
From my standpoint, so we've been watching. The wife and I have been watching Better Call Saul, season 5 right now. I won't give any specifics because there's all kinds of spoilers, but we've watched it like all 5 seasons. Obviously, it's been good throughout. We kind of went away from it for a while. I think season 5 is like they're actively putting out episodes now. We watched all of season 4 a week or 2 ago, and then got right into season 5, and they are both excellent. Man, I really kind of want to say, if you've watched Better Call Saul, if you've gotten away from it, if you're wondering if you should watch it, this is for almost 5 territory. Like, you should really put some time into this show if you're looking for something new to watch. It's really good. If you liked Breaking Bad, this season 5 has a huge Breaking Bad feel. It's a little more Saul focused and a little more lawyerly in the earlier seasons. This season 5 is like things start to get really crazy. It feels very Breaking Bad.
Ooh.
Vince Gilligan, the creator of the show, is a genius, and obviously Breaking Bad is one of the best shows of all time. And this is right up there in quality. Just the cinematography of the show, like I didn't really appreciate it until Breaking Bad, but just the way every shot is framed and how they're trying to like say a message with just the way that the scene is set up, and like the ice cream cone melting on the sidewalk, and it, if you haven't seen the show, it doesn't make sense, but like it's beautifully filmed on top of expertly written, and the acting is top notch. So it's just a combination of three things that makes it so good, as well as Westworld too. I think the cinematography in Westworld is like pre Game of Thrones, back when Game of Thrones was good. Like those are like some of the best visual storytelling that are on TV right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really, really well done. Highly recommend. I'll give it a 4.
Give it a 4.
A 4, but I'll put a 4.
So Tiger King gets a 5, but Better Call Saul gets a 4.
I don't know, man.
It's the 5 is if you should watch it right now. It's not quality, because quality obviously it's a 5. It's a 10 out of 10.
I'm like waffling all over the place
There
here.
can really
so
be
like
two scales. There is like, yes, the 1 through 10. How good is this movie? Like, and you can have a movie that's an 8 or a 9, but doesn't necessarily mean you have to watch it now. Obviously, Endgame is a good example in my mind of, well, that's a perfect example of the best movie that you have to watch now, right? But Captain Marvel was a good movie, but it wasn't I had to go watch it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That makes a lot of sense.
Just over
so
here,
two
over here
things
crapping on Brie Larson.
Yeah, we know you hate women. It's cool.
I love He-Man woman hater.
So I bought my dad season 1 of Game of Thrones like I don't know how many years ago, and since the quarantine's been going on, he's finally started to watch it. So I'm excited to see his takes. I want to see him get really into it, and then I want to watch him be heartbroken by the end of the series because of how terrible it gets. I want to ride that wave with him.
That's evil.
It's an emotional journey. Man, season 1 is so good in Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones season 1, that's a 5.
Don't do it. You're just going to hate yourself. I'm going to spoiler alert it. You're just going to hate the last season. You will. There's nothing to like about it. The last season, like, just end it and make your own ending up in your head, or wait for George R. Martin to actually finish the books.
It's a rough finish.
Yeah, that's what happened. The other thing too, the TV shows this week. My wife was listening to last week's episode, and she's like, "Well, you guys are just gonna give 5s to everything." And I'm like, "No, we're not." And she's like, "You should like ask your wives what they think about stuff, so you can get some more opinions on there." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's a show that you think we should rate?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know. I just watch all the things you tell me to watch." I was like, "Oh, okay."
She always is asking to be involved. Let me judge your podcast. Take me on vacation with you when you go places.
Pay your child support.
Yeah, she's. Uh-oh, did you hear that?
And she's gone.
She's the best.
Right.
Love you, Amanda. Is she listening to this?
Okay, so she's asleep, but we're running out of time here. So I wanted to talk about this new game I've been playing, Killer Queen Black. It's absolutely amazing. I think I'm going to save it for next week, and I want to skip ahead to something you guys can do while you guys are quarantined. Is a couple of us, I think we all got to do that this week, is playing games with your friends, not on a console, but just through Zoom. So Hummer, what did you do?
So I'll throw out 2 games that are pretty easy in terms of setup. One being Yahtzee. Yahtzee is an incredibly easy game to set up. You can actually use
Oh,
the webcam on your computer and just tilt it down to the right angle, and then you can have your little dice rolling area there so the other players can see your dice. They do the same thing. And then you have another camera. And make sure when you always have two computers up or two cameras in the same room, you mute one and you turn the volume down on the other on one of the other video devices. If it's an iPad or a cell phone, plug in your headphones. That's your trick to get the volume all the way down. Second one we did was a little more complicated, but it was Monopoly. We played
Monopoly.
we played Monopoly over Zoom. Basically, the logistics of that
How do you
is,
do that?
so you control your bank, so you have the bank there, and then you're basically in this case, my mom and dad, my brother, and my cousin were over social distancing in Ohio. They were rolling the dice, telling me what they had, and I would move a game piece to correspond on their board. And then I was putting the properties as they were bought underneath of the property space, not really caring who had what. I would just ask, or they would tell me, frankly, when I owed them money. And if I owed them money, I just basically put it back into the bank, and then my dad would take it out over there. So there was a lot of trust that goes into it. But in true Monopoly fashion, we did not finish the game because my mom threw a fit about not understanding that she was getting my 4 properties plus $300, and she thought she was getting ripped off because I went bankrupt. So we did not finish Monopoly. No. What about you guys?
I can't play Monopoly because my wife cheats every time we play Monopoly, so that's not a game we play in my house.
How do you cheat
She's
at
a
Monopoly?
lovely
You just
woman.
be the banker.
Very
you know?
sneaky on the board games.
So I don't know. She just figures it out. The second I look away, she's got an extra 10 grand in her pocket.
Take me on vacation.
Yeah, right. She does with my real money too.
What have you guys been playing on Zoom?
Yeah, we Sauce and I played with a bunch of old buddies. Was it Jackbox, Sauce?
Yeah.
With you maybe you should talk about this. So you got us all on a Zoom call and you shared your screen and we were able to log in. Like, how did you logistically do that?
So this is going to take a little bit more technical proficiency if you want to do that, but you can reach out to me, and hit my DM, and I can walk you through it if you want. But I tried streaming it because I have a buddy at work who streamed to YouTube, and then they all got on and watched the YouTube channel and played Jackbox that way. And Jackbox is a game you could play with your phone. You get questions and you answer from your phone, but you need to see the main screen. But it was kind of lagging and it wasn't working really well. So I have the ability to plug my game system into my computer and pull up the screen on my computer. So I just shared my computer screen. Everybody could see it that way. But it was a lot of fun because we were just laughing and we could all see each other and play these stupid trivia games that Jackbox does. And this drawing game, which was really fun, that is in the Jackbox party pack. If you don't have that and they're looking for something to play with your buddies long distance, that's a really good way to go. That's a 5 out of 5 if you're looking for something to do right now with your friends.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Also included in your Game Pass.
Is it?
Yes.
Whoa! Sick callback.
Nice. That was a sick callback.
So, Xbox for the win.
Yeah, man.
Xbox just clenched it right there.
Yeah, and I think some of the apps that if people are looking out to do that, I feel like you could also probably, if you are any way savvy with Twitch, you could probably just stream it to a Twitch account.
Yeah, I tried that and it was a little laggy, so I got lucky. I just did it straight through my streaming computer, but there's ways to do it.
I was trying to think of the most Jackbox way to do it. I guess that's doesn't really work. Not a good play on words there.
Don't worry, we'll cut that out.
No, we won't. No, we
Leave
won't.
All right, so I'll do just a quick wrap up here with what you guys are looking forward to do next week before next episode.
Wow, I'm totally looking forward to playing Jackbox with you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What else? Anything you're looking forward to watching on Netflix or other streaming services?
RoboCop. I
Oh
wanna.
yeah, man.
I gotta throw the reference out before we sign off here, so I did order that book, the movies and other things that you talked about last week, and I want to talk about some of these next week on chapter 3. So Sauce, if you
Yeah.
need to, if the publisher's not listening, we can send you some pictures of the pages to read. But I totally want to read. Basically, this whole chapter is about a reimagining all these movies with The Rock as certain characters. I definitely want to pick out some of these movies and talk about, was it better with The Rock?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's movies and other things by Shea Serrano, and we talked about it last week, but it's so good. And yeah, the wife and I have been just going through. The wife and Hummer and I have been going through, reading the chapters, watching the movies. Yeah, the third chapter is, would a movie be better or worse with The Rock? So RoboCop, I've never seen before. I watched it, 1987 version. It's amazing. Like it's so good. I'll give it a 4. If you've got a little bit of extra time, you're wondering what you should watch, there's nothing that's really pressing for you, like, yeah, watch RoboCop 1987. It holds up. Like, the special effects aren't amazing, but like they do a whole bunch of wacky stuff. They do some of the real, like, non-CGI special effects that they had to do back in the day. It looks great. It's violent. It's silly. It's a good movie. And if I were to throw The Rock in there, I was thinking, like, as RoboCop, he probably wouldn't work, but as like the main bad guy, like, he might work. So instead of so the main bad guy is the dad from that 70s show, which is hilarious.
Red Foreman.
Yeah, I'd like to see The Rock in his part, so that at the end of the movie, like, whoever's
You're a
playing
special
RoboCop
something
gets in a
stupid,
fist
you know
fight.
that?
Yeah, gets in a fist fight with The Rock, and it's a believable
Spoilers.
fist fight. Robot Man with this dude. So yeah, I'll probably, as far as I'm concerned, I'll probably read a little more movies and other things. There's a chapter that we're on now where Shea Serrano talks about, if you took every high school movie, took all of the high school movie characters, put them in the same high school. Regina George is the Queen Bee from Mean Girls. Like, who sits at her table? Who's her friends? So we just rewatched Mean Girls. Holds up. And we're getting ready to watch over this week a bunch of high school movies that I haven't seen before. That's probably my movies thing. I'll check out Ozarks, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the new Final Fantasy VII remake. Start doing a playthrough and just seeing what it looks like, how it handles, how much I like it.
Nice.
How about you, Sauce?
I was gonna play the Control DLC, and I was looking forward to it. I was excited. I got ready to download it, and then I couldn't find it, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then I found out it's a timed PlayStation exclusive for the first 3 months, so I can't play it, and I'm really pissed about that. That sucks. That they made it. That I can't play it. So
you missed the window.
Missed. No, it's just not out yet. It's so, like, it came out on PlayStation first, and then they're gonna wait 3 months, then drop it on Xbox.
Oh,
Win for PlayStation.
The only pro. So I ended up getting downloading it. It was only $10 on Switch. That's why Switch is great. It's got a bunch of cool games. I've been meaning to get Killer Queen Black for a while. I'm just gonna go over it now anyway. So it's the best arcade game I've ever played. It was originally designed as an arcade game. It's 5 versus 5 people. It's like Joust. If you played the classic arcade game Joust,
yep,
that's like the big part of it. So you're like 2 queen bees and you're jousting each other, trying to kill each other, and you got 3 lives. But on top of that, you have 4 drones, which are the other people. And the other people, there's 3 ways to win a round. The queens can kill each other. The drones can power up and turn into attackers, and they can kill the queen. Or the drones can try to, like, find berries on the map and bring enough berries to their to their goal. So that's considered an economic victory. If you kill the queen, that's a military victory. And then the last way you can win is just called snail. And it's if there's a snail in the middle of the map, and if you ride it all the way to your side, you win. So it's like crazy chaotic. It's super addictive. Matches only last like 2 or 3 minutes, and there's 3 matches in a game. And it's so fun. So I'm either trying to like decide if I want to ride this snail and not have the queen kill me, or if I want to try to collect berries, or if I want to try to power up and kill their queen. Super fun. Only $10 for me. It's a I would give it a 4 out of 5 because if you're not into like that 16-bit style, don't go rush out in there play it. You're probably not going to like it. But if you're like me and love that classic arcade game feel, definitely add it to your list. And for only $10, so fun. I can't stop playing it. I think it's on Xbox too, but I think it's like $20 on Xbox.
How long does a game take?
It's 3 rounds, and each round's like 2 minutes. It's perfect
nice.
for taking a poop. You would love it in the bathroom.
I could play 5 or 6 games in my normal poop time.
Yeah.
You had me until $20 because I'm cheap.
Watch a video on it. See what you think. I love it. So I'm gonna play more of that this week. Now I got to watch RoboCop and try to see what else I can find worth watching.
But while you're watching RoboCop, picture The Rock.
Picture The Rock as Red Foreman.
The Rock could be any action hero. Like he's so versatile.
He's amazing. We'd love to have you on the podcast, Rock.
I'm sending this to his agent. All right, guys, that's it for this week's episode of Timesink. If you want to follow us, you can hit us up on Instagram and Twitter at Timesink8. We're on Podbean. Our link's in the bios on Instagram and in Twitter. And we'll see you next week. Nice.